Hey fellow world dwellers, it's Angry Turtle and today I have for you a full guide for mutations in Fallout 76. If you are a beginner or a little bit more advanced, I will provide you with all informations you need to get the best mutations that there are for your build. And now without further ado, let me introduce every single mutation available to choose from. And I will start from basic effects of mutations, including some info that's not listed on this page in Pip-Boy. As well, in a moment I will show you how much better mutations can be, so positive effect and negative effect improved. As well, later on, if you don't know how to get mutations, I will cover this topic as well. So, mutations for you. Adrenal reaction. More weapon damage at low HP. How it actually works. When your health drops, the damage goes up to 50%. Up to 50% bonus damage, and you hit it when your health drops to 20%. So 20% health, 50% extra damage, max HP reduced by 50. Then you have bird bones, extra 4 agility, minus 4 strength, and reduce the fall speed, so you will not get damaged so easily when you are falling or jumping too high. Then carnivore. This is important. Here, two mutations are possible. You can be a carnivore or you can be a herbivore. You cannot be both, so whichever mutation you will get first, this one will stay. Like here, I'm a carnivore. I cannot be herbivore. Even if I use a herbivore serum, I will not become a herbivore. I'm carnivore as long as it's here, unless I remove my mutations. If you don't know how you can remove mutations, right away erases all your mutations. I mean one by one, so more right away, more mutations will be removed at random. And now, what it does, it doubles the benefit from meat food products, and herbivore is opposite, doubles the benefit from plant-based vegan products. And important in here, what's the practical difference? Because of buff availability, what you can choose from, carnivore is superior for melee damage and carry weight. Herbivore is superior for critical damage and AP refresh. Action point refresh, so how fast your action points will regenerate. Herbivore is better. They both really good. It's always recommended to be one or the other. It's not really a valid strategy to have none. It's always better to be either carnivore or herbivore over not having this mutation. Then you have chameleon. Unfortunately not very useful one. You will be invisible when stationary and unarmored, which means you cannot have any armor on you. Exception will be weightless armor. It does work with weightless armor. Unfortunately, effect is disabled when you start shooting, which makes it quite useless. When you start fighting, you will be visible again. So we are only invisible when stationary and not fighting enemies, and if you don't have any armor on you. Very useless, but as well there is no negative, so yep, it's here, you can have it, you don't need it. Eagle Eyes, extra 50% crit damage, extra perception, penalty to strength. After that, Egghead, penalty to strength and endurance, but extra 6 intelligence, very good for farming experience. Then we have electrically charged, chance to shock melee attackers. It basically, when you are being attacked by a melee enemies, you have a chance to release electric shock that will hit all melee enemies in close proximity to you. It's a little bit of damage, so it's not very significant, unfortunately. And the trigger, it's about 20% if I'm not mistaken. I don't know exact value, but that's how it feels. Empath. You will be taking more damage, but your teammates will be taking less damage, 25%. So it's very beneficial for your teammates it's negative for you. In the past, the positive was working on self, it's no longer like that. But if you have a teammate with empath, your teammate empath will be working on you and your empath will be working on your teammates, which will cancel each other out and will be still beneficent for everyone else on the team. And it can stack, so if you will have 2 empath on the team, in addition to yourself, the positive effect will be stronger than negative overall. Then grounded. Energy resist increased by 100, but energy gun damage reduced by 50%. And unfortunately, a lot of guns is classified as energy guns, including Gauss weapons, even though those weapons do ballistic damage. So be very careful with grounded. This is one of very negative mutations if you plan to use any type of energy weapon with energy classification. So grounded can be very negative for you. Then healing factor. Health regen, it says 300%, I don't know why. It doesn't mean anything, the percentage. It's basically quite significant passive healing when you are outside of combat. So it doesn't work during combat. Only outside of combat you will heal. Unfortunately, the chem effects will be negatively affected, 55%, and that includes stim packs. So your stim packs will be weaker, therefore you will heal for free outside of combat, but during combat your healing will be impaired, which in my opinion is not a very good mutation. Then you have herd mentality. -2 special solo, +2 special when grouped. Because of game mechanics, it's always worth it to play on a team. Herd mentality is amazing. You will have 3 special in each category, like +2 to each category of your special, absolutely for free. You just need to join a team, like you open team, you join any, you have 1 more player on your team, or even by yourself. It's fun fact, herd mentality do work, even if no one is on the team. So you can be by yourself on a team and still experience extra special. Then marsupial. Carry weight increased by 20 pounds and jump height greatly increased. Negative, reduced intelligence. Absolutely amazing. The jump height is 100% worth it. Then you have Plague Walker. You will deal poison damage around yourself if you are affected by disease. More diseases, more poison damage. Unfortunately, the damage is very low, even with multiple diseases, and there is no way to keep your diseases permanently. Therefore, not very useful. The good news, there is no real side effect for this one. Then we have Scaly Skin. Energy resist +50, damage resist +50, -50 to your action points. Very good mutation. A lot of resistance with very little penalty. You can really easily get this AP back, so it's not a big penalty. Then we have Speed Demon. You reload faster, move faster. Unfortunately, hunger and thirst going up faster, so getting hungry and thirsty faster. But overall, definitely worth it. Definitely worth it. The movement speed and reload speed is amazing. In the same time, movement speed when you have Speed Demon will hit the cap. So adding any perk that could possibly improve your movement speed is pointless. So you cannot go any higher than that. With Speed Demon, you are already as fast as it is possible in Fallout. And now, Speed Demon has still, at the moment of recording this video, one hidden effect. It provides your allies with damage reduction, similar to Empath. Similar to Empath, your damage will be taking, your teammates will be taking less damage. And unlike Empath, you don't suffer any penalty for that, and it does stack with Empath. So if you are a Speed Demon and Empath, your teammates will be taking greatly reduced damage, much less damage. And another reason you always should join a team, as anyone on your team with a Speed Demon will provide you with reduced damage taken. which makes you very easily a tank. It's better than having Lone Wanderer alone. So Speed Demon, better. It's approximately 30 to 40% damage reduction. Hard to tell exactly, this number is not really stated and probably shouldn't even be there, who knows. Then we have Talons. Talons will give you penalty as you will lose 4 agility, but your unarmed damage will be increased by 25% and you will be doing bleed damage with your unarmed attacks. Unarmed attacks are when you have no weapon equipped, but as well if you have weapons that do classify as an arm. So something like a Power Fist or Death Claw Gauntlet, those weapons classify as unarmed and do benefit with Talons. Then you have Twisted Muscles, another mutation for melee builds. Your gun accuracy will be reduced by 50%, but you do 25% more melee damage and you have chance to cripple with every melee attack. Now, melee damage is all the melee damage, so that includes unarmed. Therefore, if you are an armed build, you will have 25% damage from Talons and 25% damage from Twisted Muscles. They add up. They add up if you use an armed weapon, but Twisted Muscle, unlike Talons, work on every kind of melee attack, every melee weapon. And lastly, Unstable Isotope. Chance to irradiate melee attackers. There is a side effect. You will suffer a little bit of radiation damage yourself whenever it triggers. And it's not as much about irradiating those melee attackers. It's causing a quite significant explosion that does as well some ballistic damage to your enemies. So it can help with very low level enemies. Similar way to electrically charged, the damage is rather low. Therefore, do we need it? Probably not. And from my experience, sometimes it's annoying when you are being attacked by melee attackers and those explosions keep going on out of yourself, even though they do not do much to help you, they still can blind you a little bit. So it's plus minus, not very important mutations. And now, the best case scenario is you can boost those mutations. If you are new, you should know there are 2 perks available. One is under Charisma, Strength in numbers. Your mutations will be 25% stronger. That's about positive effects of mutations if you have teammates that are mutated. Basically at least one teammate with at least one mutation. That's the requirement. You need teammates. And there is a second perk under Luck called Class Freak. This one is reducing negative effects of mutations by 75%. And that includes the negative effects that are not really visible and all the numbers, so all the negative mutations. And to show you that everything is included, let's pay attention to my jump. That's my jump. That's my jump before I join a team. As you can see, that's the height I can jump on. I cannot jump any higher than that. Now I join a team to activate the perk that I just equipped, Strength in numbers. I joined the team, and now you can see I can jump over these fences. So I was not able before, and now I can. As well, I'm falling down even slower. So all my mutations are improved. Now, those are the values after improvement. Just the key ones, the very important ones. Adrenal reaction damage will go up now up to 62%. As well, the ones that are listing +5, you can see there's extra special added. Then the negative is reduced to just 1. So that's really good. The crit damage with Eagle Eyes, I don't know what the math is behind it, but somehow goes up to 75%. So that's more than 25% increase. It's just 25 points. Percentage points increase. I don't know why is that this way, but it is. Then, as you can see, empath, the negative is greatly reduced. Unfortunately, the positive is not really improved. It just says it, but it doesn't seem to improve it because it's working on your teammates. So it's maybe more if they have strength in numbers equipped the perk card and not you yourself. Then healing factor, as you can see, health regen is unchanged. That's again indication that this 300% doesn't really mean anything. That doesn't make any sense. Luckily, the chem effect is slightly impaired only when you have perk card. Herd mentality says +3 special when grouped, but in reality it's 2.5. It's just rounding it up. So you need to be aware of that. The game will round up stats even though they actually not rounded up. For example, carnivore, it says 3 times benefits of meat. It's 2.5. It just rounded to display 3. But for all calculations, 2.5 will be used. And as I was showcasing Marsupial, the jump height is indeed affected even though nothing is stated on the page. So you do jump higher. Now, how to get mutations? Let's quickly cover that. If you want them for free, you can, and I will link a guide somewhere here on the screen so you can click on it. I already did that a long time ago and it still works if you want them for free. And this way you will get all the mutations with exception of carnivore or herbivore because you will only have the one you get first. But it's very valid to play with all the mutations until you save resources to get mutations of your choice, and you get them by either hoping a player vendors and hoping some of them will be selling mutation serums that you then can eat to get those particular mutations, or you can craft them yourself, but that requires purchase of serum recipes that you get from Enclave. I will show you where, and you will see the prices. The White Spring service entrance, that's where we go. And now we run inside. You do need to be Enclave General in order to get access in there. And you do become Enclave General, but by completing the main quest line that as well unlocks your ability to drop nukes. So now we are running straight and down. There is a lot of shops. As you can see, there is military wing. Oh, I ran to the wrong wing, so if you do the same mistake, you can run across, and that's the other wing with shops. And we are looking for Science Wing. Science is where Enclave developed mutation serums. And you go in here. You will be able to purchase from this terminal under 8 categories some of the serums themselves, but prices 3,500. That's a lot. You usually can buy them under 500 from players, and here selection is very little and they keep rotating. But if you go under notes, here are a recipe for serums. 17,500 cups. It's a lot. To collect them all took me a while, but I did manage to collect enough caps to purchase them all, so now I can craft those serums, and crafting of the serum is possible after learning recipe on the chemistry station. And you may ask, why would you learn them all? That's because now I can change my builds and change my mutation loadout whenever I need to. As you can see outside of some regular resources, each mutation is using one pure flux, so one stable flux in other words. Different mutation serums, different flux is required. So it's not very cheap to craft. That's the reason when you are looking for those from player vendors, the usual price is between 300 to 500 cups, just because the stable flux is worth a lot. So stable fluxes are what's causing mutation serums to be expensive. And that is everything you need to know about the mutations. What exactly you need for which build, I always include that next to my builds, as all mutations are more or less useful. It just depends what your build is. So your loadout of mutations will depend on your build. I hope with today's explanation it will be easy for you to choose exactly what you need. And that being said, thank you a lot for watching, and see you all in the next one.